Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning, Abul. Can you send, yeah, good morning, Vishwajit, good morning, Saif, yeah, good morning, Daljit Singh, yeah, good morning, Raman. Okay, so we'll start this session. I hope the people who missed our sessions, they have attended our Sunday session, which was an backup session for all the concepts what we have covered. Okay, any question regarding that session or any early session? As I told you, like first 10 minutes, we'd like to discuss about the backup, like revision. If anybody want to have any question, let me know. I would like to discuss about it. Then I'll start discussing the next topic. Okay. Thank you, Kudal. Says no question. Nitin says no question. Okay. Let me check with others as well. In shell, you cannot delete Narendra. Shell is that's what, right? It's a different command now, so you cannot delete that earlier command. Only thing is, you can like start it again, and you can write a script to restart your shell every time. What is the difference between docstring versus string? Like Upul, where you heard about docstring? That will be my question to you. Basically, docstring stands for document string. So it is actually a topic comes in functions. So we will be discussing about document string at the time of functions. Like what will be the output if you say print double quotes and followed. Yeah, that's what is generally used for functions and all. That is called document string. We will be talking about Ubul. I think it's not a good time like to introduce functions now. So we will talk about doc string. Okay, it stands for document string actually. It is like you remember we printed help on any function, and when we do help on that function, it generally prints that document string. Sir, do you have any notes to install PyCharm? Yes, Vamshi, we do have notes to install that and all, so we'll talk about it. So Python release version is different series or makes like a 3.5.0. Yeah, Satyam has question like why Python release version in different series order that makes like 3.4 13 September and 5 September, 7 September, okay, 21st September. So I didn't get your question, Satyam. Sorry, I didn't get your question. Like you're asking like the year. So let me, meantime, let me answer Raj Sekhar question. I'll just get ready with my PyCharm ideally. Now, he's asking like, if what happens if I print something like this? Okay, if you write a double quotes, and obviously if you add a dot here, it's not a correct statement to do it. Okay, it gives you a syntax error if you add a dot after that. Okay, you cannot add dot. If you're thinking like it's a comma, then again it will accept that there must be a second argument, but it did not accept that, so it will also end up with an error. So this is an invalid syntax if you try to do something like that, because it's not making any sense here now. Okay, it's not making any sense. Satyam, I think I would like if you can speak because it's a big theory you have typed. So I mean example 3.15 release the first, then after 3.4.4 release. No, no, I think that is 2.5 you are talking about, Satyam. Whatever the documentation you got it, I want you to recheck that. There will be nothing like 3.5, then they will release 3.4.4. No, it did not happen. So obviously the order they will maintain, they will not release the higher order. You please give me the reference. I would like to check because I haven't come across that kind of things before. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So I hope everybody had their own question. Yeah, you check and please confirm us. We would also like to see. Now let me get back and let me talk about print function little bit in detail now. Did you all remember that we did this a simple program of addition of two numbers in the last session? Okay, and we did the program something like this. We wrote a is equal to 2. Okay, we wrote b is equal to 3, and we said c is equal to a plus b, and we printed two ways. One, we printed c. Okay, or I told you like you can also print. Okay, you can also print sum is equal to c. You can also print sum is equal to double quotes ended and C here now. Okay, so but later we replace these lines. Later we replace these lines with your input function, because we learned that if I give the values directly here, if I give the values directly, then this program will run for the same input every time. If you want user to input all the time, then instead of assigning the value directly, we can use our input function. We can use our input function. We also learned that input function always returns you the string value. So that's why you need to convert them into appropriate type. Now you can write something like this. A is equal to integer bracket, sorry. So integer bracket, and here you can write the input function inside this int function so that it will take it as a string, convert into integer and store it in a variable called a. And here I can write the sentence whatever you wanted to write. I can write enter first number, enter first number, and then I can close this input function, and then I can close this int function now. So I'm closing input function here, and then I'm closing int function. Similarly, I can write another variable. Again, I can convert into integer type. I will be using input function to ask user to enter second number. So I will use prompt saying that enter second number, and then I will close double quotes, close the bracket, and close the another bracket here. So first line will take the input from the user. Second line will take the input from the user again, and both of them will be added and print C. In this case, the output will be, in this case, the output will be like, for example, if you enter 2 and 3, then output will be 5 in this case. But this case, the output will be sum is equal to 5. Sum is equal to 5. The difference between the first print statement and second print statement is, in the first print statement, I'm simply passing the variable name. It's printing me the content of the variable. And also you noticed here, I did not wrote the variable in quotation. Never write the variable in quotation, otherwise it will be treated as string and it will be printed as it is if it is in the quotation. So do not write in quotation whenever you wanted to print a variable. Okay, in this case now, I wanted to add some string as well, because most of the time you will never print the value directly, because here 5 doesn't make sense whether it is subtraction or addition or multiplication or what you performed actually. It never makes sense. So most of the time you've seen in our print statement, we'll combine our string with the variable, string with the variable. As you know, in print statement, I can pass multiple arguments separated by comma. So one can be string, one can be variable, one can be integer, one can be float. You can pass multiple arguments separated by comma here now. So when you pass sum is equal to, it will be printed as it is because it is in double quotes or single quotes. Both are same in Python, and then comma, and you write the C. So in place of C, the content of C gets printed, and sum is equal to will be printed as it is. Is this program clear for all of you? Is this program clear for all of you? Okay, thank you, Udit, for confirming. Yeah, thank you, Narendra. Thank you, Abul. Yeah, thank you, Kudal. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for confirming. So, what do you think, guys? Like, which print statement is better now? What do you think? Which print statement is better? The first one or the second one? Okay, thank you, Satyam. Says second one. Udit says second one. Okay, Shikawat says second one. Yeah, everyone do agree that second one is better because it's adding more sense to the output. Okay, sometimes your output will be little more meaningful. Like if you wanted to print output, guys, if you would like to print the output which give more sense actually. Okay, if you contain more string and more data, more elaborated one will always be preferable because user would like to see your output in a more elaborated one. So sum is equal to 5 making sense, but I can elaborate into a little bit more now. Let us start writing so that we can understand. So I'll open the script now. So the one I have saved last time, you see this is the one we did last time, taking input from user and finding the radius and printing it. So I'll get back to my original program where I said a is equal to int of brackets. Okay, then I will write input, and here I will write a sentence called number enter first number. Okay, then similarly I'll take input. I'll copy it so that I can write it down here. So I'll go to and press enter. The things I will change here is the sentence, like enter second number. Okay, enter second number and store that value in B, store that result in B, and then I'll just say C is equal to A plus B, both will get added, and I will add print C here now. So this is our first approach, and let us run this code and see that what happens now. So when I run this model, it asks me for saving. It says that enter first number, I will enter 2, I will enter 3, the result will be 5. Okay, I'm getting the result, but okay, looking good, but preferably not good because you didn't say that what is actually this C is. Is it sum or subtraction or multiplication or division? Now I can tell user whether it is sum, subtraction or what. So I can say sum is equal to double quotes. Make sure you write a comma between them. Make sure you write a comma between them because in our last session we have learned that in print statement you can pass multiple arguments, but that multiple arguments should be separated by comma. That multiple arguments should be separated by comma. Now when I run this code, you can see the difference between the previous output and this output. Previously I entered first number, I entered second number, I got the answer as 5. This time again I will enter 2 and 3, and I will get the result as sum is equal to 5. Little better compared to previous one. I can make it much better. I can make it much better. Suppose I wanted to get an output like this. Please help me out with the print statement. If I want to get an output like this, let me write it as a comment. Suppose I wanted to get an output like this. Addition of 2 and 3 is 5. I think this sentence will make more sensible now because it is telling me that adding of this 2 and 3 is giving 5. Okay, it's telling me that addition of 2 and 3 is 5. So that's what it's telling me. So if I wanted to print such kind of statement, then how would I change my print statement now? How would I change my print statement here? Okay, I'll take it with it, but I think you need to, there's a small change in that. Okay, think about it. Very good, like, but you have so fast and so quickly has come up with a solution. So I appreciate, but small change into that. Yeah, very good. So it says Santosh, okay, fine. Kudal, very good. And Vamshi, okay. So here I'll take from Vamshi, Aditi, Ubul. They are perfect. They are perfect. Okay. So let's start writing it here now. So I can see a lot of correct answers. So I think I should show it now. So I can write addition, which is a string actually. So I can write addition of, which is a string as it is in double quotes, as it in double quotes, because this statement I wanted to print as it is. This statement I wanted to print as it is. So I have written addition of in double quotes. Addition of in double quotes. Then I will put comma. Okay, I will put comma and write a, because I have to print 2 here. The 2 is available in a variable called a. Never ever print this 2 and 3 directly, because this variable is going to be changed. The value will keep changing, guys. The value of a and the value of b will keep changing, so you should not print them directly. So whichever, yeah, Roshan, I was asking like how to print this particular statement. Addition of 2 and 3 is 5. So to print this particular statement, I'm writing like addition of to be printed as it is, because this is get printed as it is, and then 2 will be printed in place of a. I'm writing outside the double quotation. Yeah, very good said. I'm writing outside the double quotation, and I'll write comma again, because I'm going to start another string now called and, to be written in double quotes or single quotes. Then I'll put comma and b to write to print that next value, and I'll put comma again, so that I'm starting another argument now called is, and then double quotes n, and finally I will write c. So you've seen that I told you whatever the string you wanted to print as it is must be in the quotation, and whatever the variable content you want to print, it must be outside the quotation. So you should not write variable name inside the double quotes or single quotes. Okay, and also make sure whenever the you completed the string and you wanted to put a variable, make sure you put a comma in between them. Make sure you put a comma in between them whenever you write a string and ends the string and then start a variable name. Perfectly correct, guys. Most of you have answered the same way. Others, please, you need to correct yourself, that some of you have mentioned 2 and 3 directly. So you should not mention 2 and 3 directly, and you should not write c in double quotes as well. Variables should not come inside the quotation. If you write the variable inside the quotation, then it will be treated as string and it will be printed as it is. Let me run this code and see that am I getting the required result or not. When I enter 2 and 3, it tells me addition of 2 and 3 is 5. Yes, and exactly, I'm getting the required result now. Okay, let me run again and try to give a different input and see that whether it is working. I'll try to add 23 and 45. It tells that addition of 23 and 45 is 68. Is it not making much sense now? Is it not making much sense? So generally, whenever you write any program, so what is the conclusion about this program? There are two conclusions. First conclusion here is that whenever you write a program, make sure you write the proper sentence to ask user what to enter. Like I ask enter first number, enter second number. So please use the prompt properly. Give the meaningful prompt to the user to tell them what he has to enter, whether he has to enter a number, whether he has to enter an age, whether he has to enter the roll number, whether he has to enter name. So you use proper sentences in the input function, and also make sure you convert into appropriate type, like integer, float, or complex, or whatever the type you want to convert. Make sure you convert into appropriate type. Then you add them, like or whatever the operation you wanted to perform, you perform the operation. And also while printing, you make sure that your sentence should be more meaningful. Okay, it should contain the more meaning. Like when you compare all the three outputs, like 5 sum is equal to 5 and addition of 2 and 3 is 5, it gives more meaning, because it tells you that when you add 2 and 3, you are getting the result as 5. And in this case, when I add 23 and 45, I'm getting the result as 68. So it is more meaningful. That is one conclusion. So make sure whenever you print the output, you don't print the output directly saying that C, or directly saying result is equal to C or something. try to print in a meaningful fashion. That's what the first conclusion. The second conclusion about this print statement is, don't you think that there are a lot of commas and a lot of uh, like as the number of sentences increases or the number of arguments increases, the comma will also get increases. And for such kind of string, this is not recommended actually. This is not recommended. So why Godot want Rasm change the print function format in 2.x and 3.x? There any problem? Yeah, there are a lot of problem, Ubul, because print is not a statement. It's just a statement. Okay, you cannot add separator. You cannot add end value. Okay, and the way I'm going to teach you next thing, it's very difficult to write in Python 2 now. So today's session will be completely on that, like how the how you can use print function in Python 3, and it is not possible to use in Python 2.x. Okay, so let me go and talk about that print function little more in detail. So we learned that you can write a print function something like this. We have learned that we can write a print function something like this. Okay, how we can say that print, okay, and we can write addition, a string as it is, addition of, then double quotes ended, then put comma, and then a, and then we put double quotes again, and the double quotes ended, and then we write b, then we write is in double quotes, and then finally we will write c here. So this is how we learn we can write print statement. But I think most of you might have agree to my conclusion that this is not recommended. Okay, having multiple commas and all, because if you miss any of the comma here, the things will go wrong and you will end up with syntactical error. So you need to be very careful, and it is less readable. So that's why Python do not recommend this way now. Python says that if you have multiple arguments to pass like this, I will not recommend this way now. Then what is the other possible ways to write the print statement? Let us talk about what are the other possible ways to write the print statement. So in Python, there are other possible ways to write the print statement. The second approach, this is my first approach. The second approach of writing your print statement is, the second approach of writing your print statement is by using, okay, modulus operator. Okay, string modulus operator. We call it as string modulus operator. See, this is an important session. Today we will be concluding the print function, so that unlike output function and input function, so that we will start a new topic from tomorrow. So listen very carefully, because from here we believe or we expect that you are good enough with input function and output function, because a lot of exercises are waiting for you and they completely depends on input and output function. And obviously from every exercise you learn how to process and how to evaluate the expressions and all, how to evaluate the expression. Yes, Satyam, that is correct, but not, I'm not going to tell right now. I will tell you that approach as well. Okay, but string modulus operator, let us talk about what is the string modulus operator. Basically, as you have, I have told you when I was talking about the history of Python, then I told you that it has been took a lot of concepts from ABC programming language. It has took concept from C language, C++ language, Perl, Ruby. From many programming language, Python has took the concept. So you will find the flavor of many programming languages here. So if you are from C background, okay, Python also support that format specifiers to print your output here now, or especially to print the output in a formatted fashion, to print the output in the formatted fashion. Formatting means arranging the string in appropriate fashion, is generally called it as formatting your output now. So you can use different format specifiers now. Okay, this is your string modulus operator actually. This is your string modulus operator. It also gives support for different format specifier. Okay, you can use different, you can use format specifier same like in C language to specify how you wanted to print it and in which format you wanted to print it. okay, in which format you wanted to print it. And every format will come in this format. Now you will start with percentile symbol, you will have minimum value dot precision value, you will have precision value and the type. This is the format of your format specifier in C programming language as well as in Python. C programming language as well as in Python. So this minimum value and precision value generally will be optional, so you can skip them. Minimum value and precision value will be optional. We will introduce this, we will talk about it. Generally, you will write percentile followed by the type. Percentile followed by the type. Like you can write percentile followed by D to tell them print it as an integer value. Okay, percentile F to tell them print it as a float value, and percentile S to tell them print it as a string value, So these are the different format specifiers available to you. These are the different format specifier available to you. So that makes your life little bit easy. Now I can replace my this print statement using this string modulus operator. Now I can replace my print function using this string modulus operator. How can I write it using string modulus operator? Using string modulus operator, I can write my print function something like this. I can write my print function and I can write my string as it is in double quotes, addition of, and instead of closing the double quotes after this addition, what I can do is I can write this format specifier whenever I wanted to print that value. So I can say that in this place you print me an integer value. That's what I am telling. Whenever I write my percentile D here, I am telling that in place of this percentile D, please print me an integer value. From where I will tell in a moment, but here you print me an integer value. And then you will print and as it is, and then you print another integer value here, which is B value, and then you print is as it is, then another integer value you print it here now, and only one double quotes. So as you can see here, there's only one starting double quotes and ending of double quote. So this format is much easier than compared to the previous one. That's why Python do not recommend this comma operator whenever you have a big string or multiple arguments to be printed. When you have multiple arguments to be printed, this comma operator is not recommended because this increases the probability of making error, because you may end up with wrong double quotes, or you may miss any comma in between and all. There's a maximum chances and maximum probability of missing it, so that's why this is not recommended now. So here, as you can see here in this example, I have only one starting code and one ending codes here now. So wherever I write this percentile, in place of that I will write the variable name now. Can anybody complete me this sentence now? This sentence have not been completed yet. Can anybody help me out? What is next? Okay. Okay, so many of you says that I should write comma and write ABC there. Okay, so no, I cannot write comma here, because if I write comma, it becomes a next argument. So that's why I told you we have to use string modulus operator. See, format specifier also contains percentile and modulus operator also contains percentile. So that's what the confusion creates here now. So do not worry about format specifier is different, string modulus operator is different. So you must use the string modulus operator here now. Don't put a comma in between, and then you write A, comma B, comma C. Very perfect. Krishna. Krishna has told the correct format. So you must use something like this now. So you write addition of. So what happens now when you write this percentile? Then I'm using a string modulus operator now, and first percentile D will be replaced by A value, second percentile D will replace by B value, and third percentile D will be replaced by C value. And Satyam, we don't have that ampersand operator in Python. You don't find that operator in Python yet. Okay, so you will use this modulus operator, and when you have single argument, you can use this a here. But if you have multiple arguments, make sure you write in parentheses and separated by comma then. Okay, you're passing as a tuple. So now when I write this code now, so it gets printed me the same result. And don't you think it's much better than yeah, we will do example program definitely. We have next example program to prove you that. So don't you think that this print statement is much better than the previous one? Don't you think that this print statement addition of, okay, percentile D and percentile D is percentile D. Addition of percentile D and percentile D is percentile D. Now I will end up my code and write this percentile symbol. This percentile symbol is called string modulus operator, and in the bracket I will write 3 arguments now. So make sure you will pass 3 arguments. Just excuse me. Yeah, sorry, I just having a call. So it was an important, so I have to take it. Sorry for that. So addition of percentile D and percentile D is percentile D. So when I run this code now, I'm writing this 2 times, so you will get the same result both the time. So I want your confirmation. What do you think about both of them? I write edit 2 and 3 for making it simple, and you can see exactly I'm getting the same result. Exactly, I'm getting the same result. See, my thing is I must get the correct output, my required output actually, not the correct output. I must get the required output. So you have to pick the better one. Okay, that's the thing. So what do you think, Satyam? Which one is better, the first one or second one? What do you think? Okay, Satyam thinks the second one is better. Let me check with others as well. Yeah, and also expecting some questions also, guys. I would like to expect some question. So Shikawat says like if we have string, then percentile S. If you have string, then percentile S, Shikawat. And if you have floating point value, then you must say percentile F. Okay, and everybody like Aditi confirms, Snehal confirms that second one is better, okay, compared to first one, because the problem with first one is lot of commas and lot of open and single quotes, both difficult, because when we use Ubul thinks both difficult. Why do you think both of them difficult, Ubul? Yeah, this is same like C. Very good, Satyam. That's what I told you. That's what I started with. That if you are from C programming language, then Python gives you a little flavor of C programming language, but the syntax is little different. You put comma in C language, but we don't put comma. We use this modulus operator. Okay, and if I put comma, you will end up with an error, guys. You see, by mistake, if I use wrong syntax, I will end up with an error. I will enter 2 and 3, and you will see that you got printed something as it is. You got printed something as it is now. Addition of percentile D and percentile D and percentile D, 2 comma 3 comma 5. It thinks that you are passing another argument, and this will be taken as a next argument, and it got printed as it is now. So make sure you use the proper syntax to print the result as a required one. Okay. Okay, so second one have more modulus operator. No, there is only one modulus operator. This is percentile D, and percentile D. That's okay, but that's okay, right? Compared to the first one, second one is better. So why we put percentile this again? That is a significance. Yeah, this is a modulus operator. That's true. This is the modulus operator, and this tells that here you start the arguments. That is what the significant here. It tells that the string completed, and now the modulus operator, and after the modulus operator, whatever the arguments I will write, please replace with the proper format specifier. That's what the significance of using this modulus operator. This modulus operator stands for format specifier, because all format specifier starts with percentile symbol, guys. All format specifier starts with percentile symbol. So percentile D is for integer, percentile F is for float, and percentile S is for string. And this modulus operator will tell you that it's a string modulus operator, and here whatever you write the argument, that has to be replaced with this percentile symbol. Yes. So Satyam says, but chances for error is less than previous one. Very good, Satyam. So Satyam tells that no doubt it is also not good, because there will be a chances of error. We will talk about like what is the chances of error, but the chances of errors are very less. That's what the confirmation with Satyam. I do agree 100% with Satyam. I hope others as well do agree that there will be a problem here. I do agree, Ogul, that if I use a wrong format specifier here, things will go wrong. If I use wrong format specifier here, things will go wrong. Like by mistake, if I write percentile S here, or I write something wrong format specifier, like percentile C or something. Okay, by mistake, I wrote a wrong format specifier, not knowing what to write, then things may go wrong again. Things may go wrong. I may not get the correct result. Let me close this one and write it again, run that again, and you can see here what will be the output of my program if I misplace the wrong format specifier. You see that is printing something wrong. It's not giving me an error. It's saying that addition of empty bracket and square brackets here. It's not telling me the correct thing because I wrote a wrong format specifier. So this is what the logical error. So you need to be very careful while using format specifier. That is very important, that you use the proper format specifier here now. Okay, you should not miss uh, the format specifier, and be careful by using the syntax properly. So, syntax you have to be careful. You can say that percentile I have to write, comma I have to write, that's true, but comparatively it is much better. And let me show you the other advantages of using this format specifiers now. Let me show you another advantages of using this format specifiers. Okay, so what I will do now, I'll open another script. I'll just say one more now. Otherwise I'll create another one. So I'll say file, new file. Okay, new file. Now let me show you what will be the output of this particular program. For example, I'll use a for loop again. I'll say for I in range of, 1 comma 11. So it will repeat for 10 times. Again, don't worry about this for loop. See the output statement. I will write print, okay, print double quotes, percentile D, and percentile D, percentile D, percentile D, percentile D. Then I will write modulus, string modulus operator, followed by I multiply by I, and I multiply by I multiply by I. Okay, this is a program now. Now go through with program, and can you tell me what will be the output of this program? What will be the output of this program? What will be the output of this program? Okay, Satyam says that in first line it will print 111. Okay, then it will print 248. Very good. And it will go till it's printing number and double and triple. Okay, like very good, until 10, 100%. So let's run this code now and see what happens. I'll run this code, but it will ask me to save. I will save it with something like XYZ name. Okay, and I will run this code now. So as you expected, it's printing me 111, 248, 3927, 416, 64, and 525, 125 till 10, 100 and 110. Okay, but do you think is it properly formatted? Do you think is it properly formatted? Do you think is it properly formatted? No, because you see that three digit numbers is moving away, and this is the table is not looking good. So that is the meaning of formatting the output actually. That's what we use format specifier. Otherwise, if I remove this thing, it will get me the same result, right? If I don't write this way, if I write this way, I'll get the same result. I'll get the same result here. Now you run. Okay, there is a one extra bracket. I will remove that and I will run again, and you will get the same result. Now you see the previous result and the same, this result is same. This is much better now. This is much better. But what is the use of writing this format specifier? What is the use of writing this format specifier? The use of writing this format specifier is to format the output properly. To format the output properly. That's why I told you this minimum value and the precision value comes in picture. The minimum value and the precision value comes in picture. The minimum value tells that how many spaces you wanted to print minimum before that particular thing, so that you can format them correctly. You can format them correctly. So in place of this minimum value, yeah, we can also add string, but in this case it's okay. I don't want to add string. Here I can say print 2 spaces including the digit. Here you print 3 spaces including the digit, and here you use 4 spaces including the digit. So here you're telling that in between percentile and D, if you write 2 here, it means that you're asking them to print 2 spaces including the digit. Here you print 3 spaces including the digit, and here you print 4 spaces including the digit. Now you see the magic of this minimum value. Now you can see that this is properly formatted. Do you agree? Compared to the previous one, this is little better. This is perfectly formatted now. Aditi confirms. See here, it's printing 2 spaces. You can see here, Satyam, it's printing 2 spaces, 1 space followed by a number. Here it's printing 3 spaces, and here it's printing 4 spaces. Because here I wanted to print a 3-digit number including the space, so that's why I added 3 spaces for this and 2 spaces for this, because I'm going to print a 3-digit number, and here I'm going to print 2-digit number. So that's why I'm adding space for that accordingly. So that is what actually meaning of formatting the output. I hope you got the idea now what is meant by formatting the output. That's what this format specifier is meant for. Format specifier is not only meant for printing an integer, float or string, it is also help you to format the output properly. Adding the spaces before the number and after the number and all will be the key role for format specifier. And whatever we discuss, it is same with C language as well. This knowledge will also help you with the C language, but the syntax will be different, but the concept will be exactly same. Because whatever the syntax I told you about this format specifier will be exactly same in C language as well. Will be exactly same in C language as well. Now, any questions? Any question? So I hope you see the advantage of using the format specifier now. So suppose we take a loop for infinite time, then how alignment then? So you never, there is no possible for infinite times, Aditi. You will never loop for infinite time. You will loop for some precise value, and accordingly you can align them. Okay, accordingly you can align them. Okay, thank you for the question. Let me check anybody else having this question regarding this format specifier. Is everybody clear? Okay, thank you, Satyam. Very good. Because you're going to use them a lot in your program. So still there are a lot more to conclude, but let me get confirmation that did you all understood what is the use of format specifier. I've shown you 2 example, guys. Yeah, I'll show you. Ubul, I will talk about it. That's our next problem actually. So I shown you one way that you can use this format specifier to print your string something like this, and also you can use format specifier to properly format your output. Properly format your output. Is there any format specifier for eval function? No, no, Rajshekhar. Eval is a different function. It's not a data type. Format specifier will be for data type. Yeah, that's what you wanted to print spaces after that number, then you can use it. See, generally what happens now, in first percentile D, why 2D means it leaves 2 spaces. It leaves 2 spaces including that number. You've seen the output that 1 space followed by the number. So 2D means print 2 digits. That's what it means. Print 2 digits. So if it is a single digit number, it will print space there. That's what it means actually. So when there is a 2-digit number, it will print 2 digit. That's what actually you are telling, that print 2 digits. Okay, minimum 2 digits you have to print. That's what its minimum value actually mean, SK. Understood now? When I say 3 percentile D, it means print 3 digits. If it found only 1 digit, it will print 2 spaces before that. And if it found 2 digit, it will print 1 space before that. If it did not found a 3-digit number, if we found 1-digit number or 2-digit number, then it will not add a space before that. So including number means then 10 will be there. No space is starting. Very good. That's what I told you. That's what I'm telling. Print a 2-digit number. If it is a 2-digit number, you print as it is. If it is a 1-digit number, then you add a space before that. Got my point, SK? So good question from SK. I hope that confirms to other people as well. So I want to print space after the number. See, after the number, you can always give a space. After the number, you can always give a space. Okay, you can add a space after that, it will get printed now. But before the things, how many spaces you want to print, that makes sense. That makes sense here. Before that number, how many spaces you wanted to print it. Like for example, I wanted to print the addition of this number. In the addition of this number, I wanted to print 5 spaces before that. I want to print 5 spaces. Now you see the difference now. I think I should better close this and run once again. Okay, I'll run this code now. And you can see here, I'll enter first number, enter second number. You can see that 5 is printing little far away now. Understood, everyone? Okay, so that way you can give spaces before that number. So generally it's for this example, it's not looking good. Okay, it's not looking good, but it adds a spaces before that. Or instead of this space, if you say 0, 5, you know what? It prints me zeros before 5. It prints me all zeros before 5. You can see here 4 zeros are getting printed and then followed by 5. So this is generally called it as formatting of output. This is generally called it as formatted output. I hope it making sense to everyone now, that why it's called format specifier and how it will be useful. Yeah, 5D means 4 spaces and 1 number. That's right. Very good, SK. That's what I am telling. Print 5-digit number. That's what you're telling. If it did not find 5-digit number, then add that many spaces to there, to the left. It will not add spaces to the right. If you want to add spaces to the right, you can add manually. That's up to you. But adding spaces to the left is makes sense when you write this particular minimum value. Okay. So you remember yesterday we solved this problem. You remember? Yesterday we solved this problem. Enter a positive number and printing the square root of that number. Okay. Can we solve it again, guys? Shall we solve it again? Can you recall how did we did that? We imported math module, if you remember. We imported math module to find the square root of that number. Okay, square root of that number. And in the next line, I wrote input function. Let's say n is equal to int of input. I said enter, sorry, I wrote a spelling wrong. So enter any number. Enter any number followed by double quotes and 2 brackets close now. Then I'll find the square root. You know that I can find the square root like math.sqrt, and here I can tell that I wanted to find the square root of n. Then I can print the result something like this. I can print the result something like this. Square SQUARE square, okay, root of double quotes n comma is, okay, comma s. Do you think it's a good way of writing like this? Do you think it's a good way of writing like this? So yeah, we need a round function as well. We will talk about it. Now you see the program. I'll say 2. You'll be getting the answer as square root of 2 is 1.414 and all. We are getting the answer. But we have a better way, right? Instead of this, we have a better way. What is a better way? What is a better way? We can write square root of percentile D is percentile D is percentile F. Okay, percentile D is percentile F. This is a little better way. With this better way. Now I can use this modulus operator, string modulus operator, and then I can print n value and I can print s value, n value and s value here. Now let's see that what is the difference between the previous output and this output now. Now when I run this code, now, it is asking me a number. Now the difference is you found that it's printing me enter any number as 2 I entered. Square root of 2 is 1.414. It is printing 6 digits. It's printing me 15 decimal points after the point. But according to the result, I want only 2 decimal point. I want only 2 decimal point. Now the format specifier again will help here. Now you see here minimum value you already understood now. That is how many minimum spaces or minimum digits you want to print before that number. The precision value will tell you that how many precision or how many digits after point you want to print. So especially with floating point value, you will use precision value, Ubul. You will never say 0.2D, never makes sense, because for integers you will not have precision value, Ubul. So precision value means after point how many precision value you wanted to print it. So you might have seen in C language, most of the people will write 0.2f, percentile 0.2f. It means that no minimum value. I don't want any minimum value, but after point you print only 2 digits. So no need for round function now. You can format it with the help of percentile f only. So now I will run this code. This time you will see that you will get the output with 2 digits after the point. You will get the result 2 digits after the point now. Now you see in the first example, it's printing me 15 precision value. I don't like it. So I just say percentile f, so printed me 6 precision value. But my requirement is I only wanted to round off to 2 precision value. So I can write percentile 0.2f. So very frequently we use this format. So this is why we require this formatted output. I hope you agree now that why we use this. See, that's the syntax, Satyam, you have to understand now, that minimum value and precision value. So minimum value will tell how many minimum digits or minimum spaces you wanted to print before that number, and precision value will tell that how many points you wanted to tell, how many precision or how many digits you want to print after point. So if you want to print 3 decimals after point, you say 0.2, okay? Or yeah, if I write 2f now, it means that you are asking them to print 2 spaces before that number. This is called minimum value. This is the difference. That's the difference. When you enter that number, it's printing you 1 space after that. Okay, you wanted to see both the things together, then I will say that okay, 10.2f, meaning what? What is meant by 10.2f? Print, if it is a single digit, print 9 spaces and then followed by digit, and after point print me 3 digits. Print me 3 digits now. Now I will use both together. Now you will see here now, if I enter 2, it's printing me 9 spaces. Okay, not 9 spaces, together 9, all together 9, including 1.414, but I got some spaces got printed here now, and it's printing me 3 digits after that. Is that clear, SK? So when you not use precision, also value from 15 to 6 decimal, yeah, because here I didn't use percentile f, so it's printing me with 15 decimal places. But when I use as a floating point number will give you 6 decimal places, Satyam. That's why it got printed me 6 decimal values after point. But when I wanted to print only 2 or only 3, then I must use the precision value. So that's the power of format specifier. So don't you think that this is much powerful than the first one? Comma operator, that's what my conclusion actually. I wanted to show you what is this string modulus operator, the second way of printing the second approach of printing called string modulus operator. Okay, and what is the advantage of that? First advantage is I don't have to use multiple double quotes and comma here. I can write very easily, and I can write the proper format specifier. The second advantage of using this format specifier is you can format them accordingly. You can write minimum value and then also you can write precision value. Generally, we use this precision value along with float, not with integer. So if I print with integer, it will not make sense, right? If I say point to do 2D, it will not make sense now. If I say point to 2D, or in my other example here, if I say point to 2D, it will not make sense because integer will not have point values. Integer will not have point values. So when I run this code now you see here it's printing me to 0, 2. So never take it as point 2, it is taking it as the minimum value only. It's taking me as minimum value only, so it will not make sense. So this 0.3 will make sense in the floating point value, and obviously we don't want to print, if you don't want to print minimum value like spaces and all, then you will skip that and you will use only precision value. You will use only precision value. Anybody feel like hard to follow this? Anybody feel like hard to follow, or it is easy? Okay, thank you, Ubul. And same with C language. Whatever you learn today, is it same like in C language as well? Okay, thank you, Ubul. Thank you, Anjali, for confirming. Let me check, like, do you, okay, easy. So understood with formatting as well. Okay, but if you still find tough, so there's a good news that we also have a third way. There's a good news that we have third approach, which is much easier than all of them. Okay, we also have a third way now, which is mostly used actually, because the second approach, we have spent much time on understanding this, but let me tell you guys, the second approach is actually deprecated. This one is deprecated. Deprecated means it is actually there is a better solution for it. So they removed from Python now. So they are no more string modulus operator in Python. In future they will be completely removed. In my version it worked. It's because still it is deprecated. It will work. It is available. Deprecated means it is available, but in future it may removed, because the major problem here is with the format specifier. So there is a better solution, guys. We'll talk about it. Let me write the subheading. We'll talk about tomorrow, because we will conclude. We thought we will conclude today, but it's okay. We will conclude in the next session for next half an hour, and then we'll talk about. So the next approach is, we call it as string format function. String format function. String format function. Let me show you, and then we'll talk about detail tomorrow. Okay, let me show you how it looks like. We'll talk about in detail tomorrow. What is this string format function? Tells that you can write print function, like you can write addition. Okay, addition of you. The problem with this approach is writing this format specifier, right? So there was yeah, speak the last print part again. Okay, Shekhawat, you don't worry about this one. Now try to understand this one. Anyhow, okay, I will introduce tomorrow, because again it will end up with some confusion. I don't want to end up with confusion. Okay, so let it be like this. Just write the subheading. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Can we use or not the above method? Satyam, you can use it, but it is deprecated. So actually, better not to use it. Better not to use it. Always try to use the third one, which we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, so let us not conclude now which one is better, but it is all available, guys. All of them are available. There are actually 4 ways you can print the output. 3 ways I shown you. One more way I will show you tomorrow. So you select the one, which one you feel. All are perfect. They are available, but only the second one is deprecated. It's better not to use them, because similar fashion we can do with this string format function. So we'll discuss about string format function tomorrow in detail, and we will conclude about print function tomorrow. Okay, understood everyone? I hope it's making sense now. It's giving a little more clarity about print function now. Like you feel more comfortable, right? That's what my intention. I want you to feel more comfortable with print function. Like you should able to print me whatever I want. This is one of the main requirement for competitive programming. If you have solved problems in HackerRank and HackerEarth, they want you to print the formatted output or required output. So if you're not good with print function, then things will go wrong. So how to add 0 before result? Yeah, you will say 0 percentile D. You'll say 0, whatever the digits you want to print, you can write that one. Like in this case, you can say 0, 5. Then it will print 5 zeros to you. Okay? 4 zeros actually, followed by that number. 4 zeros followed by that number. If you don't add 0 before that, it will print spaces. Understood, guys? Okay, so this is all for today. So we just learn one more way of printing an output. We are trying to understand input output in a better way. That's what I told you. Yeah, homework exercise will be, anyhow we will solve this tomorrow. If you want to take down, you can take down this program, guys. This is an homework exercise. This we will solve tomorrow. Okay, with that problem. So it says, suppose the cover price of the book is 24.95 rupees, but bookstore get a 40% discount. Shipping cost is 3 rupees for the first copy and 75 paisa for each additional copy. What is the total wholesale copy for 60 copies or whatever you ask from user? You ask user how many books you wanted to order. If he says 60 copies, then you have to calculate the cost and you have to print the cost. So take this screenshot and try to get the same result. If you're getting the same result, it means you're done. Okay, that's how you can validate. But slowly we will start uploading it in some platform so that you can test yourself, or I can check your code as well. Yes, no, only zeros, Krishna. Only zeros, not other digits. Zeros make sense, Krishna. Other digits does not make sense, right? It becomes a number then. Printing 0 before any digit will not change the digit. But if I print 1 before that, it becomes 11 or 12 or something. Right? So it will be wrong. So that's why it will not allow you to print any other digit. 0 is allowed in that case. So is this exercise clear for everyone? Is this exercise clear for everyone? Okay, try to solve, use both the approaches, guys. Now it's your wish. Like I shown you two ways of printing. Now you can select any way. I'm not saying that this is not available, but the second one is deprecated, but for time being you practice little bit. This knowledge is also required, guys, because in some application you may use this way also. So that's why I'm teaching you all the way, because in machine learning and AI you will use this approach a lot. Okay, you wanted to print the data in the formatted way, so this knowledge will help you a lot. And also this will help you in C language as well. So you can just go and do some research on printf function in C language, will give you little more clarity about this. Okay, so whatever we discuss here will be exactly equivalent to printf function in C language. So that's all for the conclusion today. We learned two different ways of printing an output in Python, and tomorrow we will learn the third and the fourth way of printing the output in Python. Yeah, I will show you the second way. This is the second way, using string modulus operator, and this is the format specifier. Yeah, no problem, SK, no problem. You can take a screenshot so that you can note down, or simply you can note down for your reference, so that whenever you get a doubt, you can just check about it. Because in our notes and in any PDF what we will send, you may not find that detail. Okay, so sometimes this running notes will help you to have a quick review of whatever you have learned along with those notes. Yeah, this is called string modulus operator. Now the third one is string format function. The third one is string format function. We will discuss tomorrow. So we'll take a leave now. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for attending. Okay, see you tomorrow.